Masturbating over Jeffrey Dahmer.
One particular episode where he's got his head on like his victim's heart and something just came over me. Yeah, I just had to look after myself, if you know what I mean. And now it's a regular thing.
He was listening to my heart because at a point he told me he was going to eat my heart at that point. I hit him and I ran.
So the outrage is continuing to escalate over Netflix hit series Dahmer. Not just because of the women who find the homosexual serial killer sexy are calling in the radio shows to talk about it.
You're masturbating over Jeffrey Dahmer.
One particular episode.
Like, goddamn, she don't even hesitate. No shame, she dives straight in. Let me tell you about the creepy shit that I'm into.
I said I like what I like.
What the fuck? Even though that's gross, that is not the source of the outrage. The series is under fire from the LGBT community because of the categories they chose when promoting the video. There's also outrage because of the families of the victims who are tired of having their pain exploited for entertainment and money.
Now I don't want to ever have to see my mother go through this again. Never, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, I hate you, motherfucker.
And now, with Halloween around the corner, TikTok has, of course, created a disgusting new trend called the Jeffrey Dahmer Challenge that takes the outrage and disrespect to an entirely different level that only TikTok could achieve.
If I couldn't keep them there with me whole, at least I felt that I could keep their skeletons.
But first, I am Joe Stone, and this is the Church of Joe Stone podcast, where cool comes to pray. Church. Make sure you hit the subscription button so you never miss another episode. Now, much to the Jeffrey Dahmer story, Ryan Murphy's latest offering has been well received by viewers ever since its debut. At the moment, it's one of the most popular TV shows that Netflix produces, if not the most popular. But it's been controversial, not only because of how gruesome this particular story is, but also because of how recent it is, as well, with a lot of the victims and their families being alive. In the early 1990s, Jeffrey Dahmer rose to fame after he got convicted and arrested for his gruesome rape, drugging, and dismemberment and refrigeration of his victims' torso and other body parts before eating them. The guy ate people. In all likelihood, he killed around roughly 17 people, but nobody knows for sure because we got the information from the guy who killed them. So, take that for what that's worth. There's been a lot going on since the series premiere, but TikTok has decided to ratchet things up a notch with a disgusting new trend that has users film themselves looking up the graphic online pictures and then recording their own reaction to it.
Why did you photograph them?
It was my way of remembering their appearance, their physical beauty.
This isn't just watching the movie. Let's literally find the pictures of dismembered body parts and just terrible crime scenes online, and let's have fun watching each other be traumatized by the gruesome visuals. That's terrifying, shocking, and gross. According to Alpha News, the search term Jeffrey Dahmer victim Polaroids has gained around 531 million views, hinting at the public's morbid fascination. Of course, TikTok has been trying to do its best with removing certain explicit content from its platform. However, it turns out to be nearly impossible to delete each and every post related to Jeffrey Dahmer's Polaroids. We've seen this type of issue with moderation. They can only do so much, and with users from all parts of the world in different time zones and different names sharing all types of different content related to this trend, yes, it's going to be hard to sniff it out, especially when people switch hashtags and continue to egg each other on. What's more unsettling is that many people are tweeting about how much they want to see just Dahmer's real mugshot, and even watching people sexualize the guy who murdered, again, about 17 people. Recently, in an interview on the Kyle and Jackie O episode, a viewer claimed that she had touched herself while watching the infamous Jeffrey Dahmer Netflix show.
Man, that's crazy.
That's what it takes to get your jollies going. Oh, so you a freak. But specifically this part blew my mind.
Hang on, not just masturbating over Jeffrey Dahmer, but over him listening to a heart that he's harvested out of someone's chest?
No, he's going to harvest it.
Oh, well, excuse me, that's way more understandable.
It was just so far away from my normal life, and it just took me to this other place, and I was like, oh my God.
So 3 things. First, ill. Second, you aren't just turned on by the serial killer, but more specifically him getting excited about the person he's about to kill. Gross. And 3, to go back to the previous points that we made during this whole video, imagine that being your family member they're talking about. Hell, imagine that being you they're talking about. A woman literally talking about the reenactment of the moment, and probably the worst moment of your entire life happening to you where you almost lost everything, and she's talking about literally playing with herself through it. God damn. But let's be clear, this is not an issue that is exclusive to Munster or Jeffrey Dahmer. It is a recurring theme in the true crime genre, with mostly young ladies succumbing to lust for very bad guys.
I like bad boys.
Another good example is Zac Efron and his portrayal of Ted Bundy in Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile. And look, while Zac Efron used to be one of the most sexy men in the world before his fucking face got muscles, that's a whole other story. Ted Bundy already had his own following of women who were into him. Now, I don't know if we're just exposing the fact, and I love this, the fact that women are just as disgusting as men, or at least can be, or something else going on. On the Joe Rogan show, Rogan and Taylor Russell discussed why some women are attracted to serial killers, and kind of took a deeper, in-depth look at this based on the same conversation.
To be close to that person means somehow or another you're protected by them, and that they're willing to kill, and that this is like something that existed thousands and thousands of years ago in our DNA, this desire to be close to killers because you were more likely to survive.
I'm going to be honest, that also sounds nice and logical, but if you're flicking your bean at serial killer pics, again, there's probably something wrong with you. And I feel like there's a bigger problem here than evolution. And again, that's not the whole story. We've discussed the LGBT community and their issues before in a previous video with Jeffrey Dahmer, this whole Netflix special, the different challenges that are going on. And then now, on top of that, Halloween's coming up, and what do you think is going to be the most popular costume out? Jeffrey Dahmer. Costumes patterned after the serial killer and cannibal Jeffrey Dahmer are anticipated to be extremely popular this Halloween, with aviator glasses and orange jumpsuits being the new style. But of course, this as well is driving more and more outrages. People are saying, with people pleading with the public to put aside their Halloween celebrations and think instead of the Jeffrey Dahmer victims and their families. I don't know. The truth be told, I think there is a good point on both sides. Like, yes, imagine if you are one of these individuals and you suffered at the hands of one of these heinous crimes. And then imagine that this person that did this to you not only becomes super famous, but some people actually treat them as a celebrity. It's not even like people are walking around and just being mad and angry and talking about how bad of a person Jeffrey Dahmer is. No, they're actively dressing like him and helping to make him a pop culture icon. That's a very different thing than just a documentary about something that happened. And then also, we turn everything else into entertainment. Why do we draw the line just here? Is it because it's a true story? Is it because of the gruesome nature of the story? And how do we go about, if it's even possible, protecting the people who are continued to be harassed and have to live in their victimhood because other people want to be entertained by the disgusting acts of someone that tried to hurt them or their family members? So let us know what you think, but straight to the comments because the streets had a lot to say. I think the Jeffrey Dahmer costumes are a step too far. These things actually happen. Families have trauma from these events. This is going to be a hard Halloween for some, and I truly feel sad that's the case. That's a good point. Jeffrey Dahmer was a real person that really murdered people, and it really isn't cute or quirky to make it a Halloween costume. The amount of Jeffrey Dahmer costumes this Halloween is going to be disgusting. Facts. The romanticism surrounding serial killers is disturbing. How could you even be aroused by that? I don't get it either, guys. Maybe Joe Rogan knows. She must have been one of the ones sending him those love letters. And he's talking about the interview with the lady getting excited about watching the Jeffrey Dahmer Netflix special. So again, guys, let us know what you think. We'll keep you updated as this story continues to evolve. And I hope that you got to learn something and weren't too disgusted about the subject matter. But I want to thank you for joining us today and being a part of the show. I am Joe Stone, and this is the Church of Joe Stone podcast, where cool comes to pray. Church, make sure you subscribe so you never miss another one. I will see you in the next one. Bow.